टेक अ ब्रेक ना। अरे यार बाबा, तूने बोला ब्रेक लेने देगा, तूने रिकॉर्डिंग शुरू कर दी।
नो ब्रेक,
काट
नो
काट
ब्रेक,
काट।
नो।
नहीं तो मैं बहुत एडिट्स लाऊंगा।
एक
मैं
मिनट,
बहुत एडिट्स
ठाकुर,
लाऊंगा तेरे
हम
लिए।
लोग ने
तेरे पास
स्टार्ट
दो
नहीं
ऑप्शन
किया।
है, मुझे
स्टार्ट
5
के
मिनट
पहले
का ब्रेक दे और वन टेक कर, या तो मैं तेरा जीना आराम कर दूंगा।
देख भाई,
हर हर
स्टार्ट
एक
होने से
इंपॉर्टेंट चीज के बीच में मैं कुछ गलत बोल दूंगा, तेरे को
गाइस,
झक मार के करना
आई
पड़ेगा।
एम
बाबा
नॉट इवन
डिसाइड।
किडिंग, वी हैव जस्ट स्टार्टेड। How,
I'm
what
telling
are
you.
we doing? How can we take a break before we start?
That's what I told you. Give me a break, and before I could move, you hit record.
But it's not a break if you've not started.
Yes.
That's what Baba was going for. He's going for the grammar of the thing.
The
So-
grammar is not the issue. That
So,
I wanted
Thakur-
to take a 5 minute. I
Yeah.
want to take 5 minutes. Don't call it a break. I wanted 5. Can we take 5? I wanted to take 5, and you hit record before I could take 5.
There is no proof as to what time of the night this
The
is.
proof is my frustration. मैं थोड़ी इतना टाइम एक्टिंग करूंगा ब्रो, मैं genuinely तेरे को बोल रहा हूँ। चल ठीक है, चालू कर दे फिर, और क्या। Hello and welcome to another episode of the Internet Set. So, a show we take random absurd facts that trivia and puzzle stories and we talk about them. और आज बॉयज मैं तुम्हें बोलना चाहता हूँ, मेरे साथ एक बहुत मजेदार चीज हुई। ठीक है, मैं नीचे गया था सामान लेने और मुझे दिख गया है मेरा 12th स्टैंडर्ड का मैथ्स ट्यूशन टीचर।
Oh man, at the same store?
नहीं, वो इधर रहता नहीं है, वो चारबंगला रहता है। वो इधर क्या कर रहा था मुझे मालूम नहीं, which is why I was shocked. And I don't think he recognized
Did
me.
he tell you 88 into 4?
नहीं bro, by the way, ये मेरा मैथ्स ट्यूशन में half the time that I was with this sir, I won't take his name, okay, he used to watch the stock market.
What?
तो इधर बैठ के वो इधर पाइथागोरस या जो भी अपन क्या कर रहे थे पता नहीं 12th स्टैंडर्ड में, वो टाइम पे जो भी चल रहा था मैथ्स में वो सिखा रहा है और मैं अपना करने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ। सडनली वो बोलता था ओह गॉड, और फिर मैं पढ़ने क्या हुआ सर, उसका स्टॉक का कुछ प्राइस नीचे गिर गया है, तो बैठ के ये कर रहा था। हाफ द टाइम he would do that, but still he was
What time was this tuition?
हाँ,
What time was the tuition?
When the BSc was
सुबह
starting.
शाम को।
तो स्कूल नहीं जा रहा, कॉलेज नहीं जा रहा था क्या तभी?
नहीं ब्रो, तेरे को मालूम नहीं, मैं तेरे को ये बताया ना मैंने पॉडकास्ट पे स्टोरी। ब्रो मेरी हालत खराब हो गई थी। फर्स्ट 3 एग्जाम्स मैथ्स इन कॉलेज FYJC मेरे को बहुत कम मार्क्स मिले थे।
Bro, it's not worse than mine. Mine was
ठीक है,
0, 1, 2.
बाय बहुत कम मार्क्स मींस मैं फेल हो गया था।
Correct. 0,
ठीक
1,
है।
2 I have got.
हाँ,
That wasn't.
Yo, waivers, bro. मेरा 3 एग्जाम का टोटल 55 था, एंड बाय द वे मैं 85% स्टूडेंट। ठीक है, और मेरा 55 था टोटल। टू गेट मैथ इन 12th I had to get 50. No, to go to the 12th, sorry, not get math. I had to get SP. And if I wanted maths, नहीं गया, रुकना, पूरी स्टोरी तो खत्म होने दे। अभी मैं वो वाले लेवल पे हूँ कि मैं 3 एग्जाम फेल हो गया, मैं बहुत उदास था। मैं वो टाइम पे शामक दावर वो सब कर रहा था, सब छोड़ दिया ब्रो, सब छोड़ के मैं बोला पढ़ाई करूंगा, क्योंकि मेरे को 12th स्टैंडर्ड में मैथ्स चाहिए 80 और मेरे को एंड में लाना था 85 टू गेट मैथ्स इन द 12th स्टैंडर्ड। और मैं ये प्रोफेसर के पास गया जो मेरे घर के लेन के लिटरली ऑपोजिट साइड के बिल्डिंग में था। एंड लाइक आई सेड, ही वुड वॉच स्टॉक्स, उसका अपना चलते रहता था, या फिर वो डिसाइड कर रहा है कि रात को खाने में क्या बनने वाला, दोपहर को खाने में क्या बनने वाला, ये सब चल रहा है। बट he was still an amazing teacher because somehow he got through to me. Guess how much I got in my last exam?
96.
No, 82.
Oh God.
फिर भी 3 मार्क्स से रह गया।
Grace.
नहीं, फिर मुझे जाना पड़ा प्रिंसिपल के पास कि देख भाई, मैं क्रिकेटर हूँ तेरे इसका, तो अगर मेरे को मैच नहीं मिला मैं मिट्टी भाई जा रहा हूँ।
This is such a Virat Kohli thing to do.
नहीं, बट स्पोर्ट्स का भी मिलता है ना थोड़ा। मैं बोला ब्रो 3 मार्क्स से रह गया हो यार, दे दे। फिर मिल गया तो हाँ, तो मेरे को ऐसे द होल इवनिंग आई हैव जस्ट बीन थिंकिंग अबाउट दैट एंटायर। तुम लोग ट्यूशन गए थे? आई एम अज्यूमिंग एवरीबॉडी इज गॉन। तो कितने व्हाट एज वर यू व्हेन यू वेंट to the, like when you started tuitions, like private tuition?
I think I was very young, and I think the first tuition I went for, I was 10 or something like that.
What?
Yeah, I'll tell you why. So, and this is something I want to also talk about, right? When you talk about tuition today versus tuition when I was a kid was slightly different. So I went for the first time for tuitions for Marathi. Okay. Because we had it in school and both my parents don't know it. So they were like, we have to send them to someone who actually knows the language. So they sent me 2 floors up to this lady who used to live in our building, and she used to teach me Marathi. Now, when we were kids, that's what also tuition used to be. It used to be just a lady in your building. There was a lot
of this, right? There was a lot of this where your tuition teacher was in your building or in your society.
Yeah. She has free time.
For many of my friends, the tuition teacher was their own mother because she was a teacher.
Yeah.
No. And then she would have kids come home.
Yeah.
So the other kids have come. He would sit with the other kids, but his private tuition is actually his own mother.
During tuition, this guy used to also call his mother ma'am.
Ma'am.
No, but the other thing is, like my mom, I went to tuitions really late because I didn't even know the concept of tuition because I was in boarding school. So for me, there was no, we had extra study or whatever.
You have to start with who are my parents and then why do they want me to go here?
So we had. So we didn't have we had extra class or whatever it is, but it was within the system of thing. When you came back and all, they, in summer vacation or something, they would send you to extra coaching or whatever it is. In the 10th standard, you would go to Sinhal classes or whatever.
Yeah.
So that was the difference you had.
The first tuition I went to was, believe it or not, in the 11th standard for French, dude. 11th standard.
Wow.
For French.
And I'm assuming because your parents didn't speak French, which is why.
No, my mom studied French, but she also wanted me out of the house. So.
Bro, so you had home tuitions, which is what some auntie, some teacher, not necessarily auntie teacher, right?
Yeah, not this
of whatever, whether math or whatever you would go for. But even I took the first time I actually took tuitions, home tuitions, was in 9th standard, would be second half mein, because a lot of that gets used in your 10th standard ka syllabus. So you wanted that little extra और ये मैं पूरा plan उसके पहले मैं कभी tuition नहीं गया था. I know people like my friends in school who are going to tuitions in the 4th standard.
Yeah,
dude, my nephew's classmates currently, some of them are going to learn how to read and all.
अबे लेकिन तू स्कूल में भी तो वही सीख रहा है.
Yeah, but they're going for extra classes for phonetics, and I'm not talking about extra curricular activities, कि ऐसा पियानो सिखाने भेज दिया या फुटबॉल खेलने सिखा दिया, ये सब नहीं. I'm talking about literally curricular linked.
The thing is, and here's what I genuinely think, I feel like every subsequent generation, it's gotten tougher and tougher, right? And part of it is because competition has increased, population has increased, all of those things, right? When we were growing up, now this home tuition is one thing, then now it's become like this. Dude, tuition classes are a multinational corporation run properly with branding, marketing. There are kids in my building, you'll see them at 4:35 when they're supposed to be out playing. They'll be carrying these oversized bags with whatever, some insert random man's name / surname.
Mahesh tutorials.
Yeah.
मैं 10th standard में Mahesh tutorials गया था.
Yeah, but exactly.
So ये अपने time से चल रहा है, bro. Sinal, Mahesh, Chate.
It's been around for a while.
Parla Shukla, bro.
It's been around for a while. It's just that now it's become a more it's become a more streamlined business. They've got and so
no, they've got HR and they've got ad all of that.
It's proper,
bro. But I'm telling you, Mahesh, when I was in the 10th standard, which is now almost 19 years ago, okay, they didn't have HR. But they probably did. They probably did. It was one guy. I was sitting at the reception also, and then you had different professors who would come in and teach you, right? So that was a difference. Till you're in the 10th or 12th, right? To home, maximum people I know have gone to home tuitions.
Yeah.
Very few would go to a Sinhal and Chate classes and all in the 6th, 7th standard.
No,
it's not like they weren't going, but not a lot of my friends did.
No.
9th, एक बार 10th में switch हुआ ना, that's when I saw a lot of them go to these classes. I also went.
It's when the competitive exam starts.
Yeah. And dude, I don't know about other people who've been to or what. I actually loved it. Aadar था मेरे साथ. वो जब उसका जो French वाला इसमें था, Aadar and I used to do together.
Oh man.
So I know him since I was 15. पहले बार उसको तब मिला था मैं. And I'm not kidding, dude. It really helped.
The first version of this podcast was in French. Is that what you're saying?
Dude, and honestly, what I did in those 3 hours post, so your school gets done, we'd go to my friend Kushal's house, whose house was right next to Mahesh Tutorials. उसके घर पे 1 घंटा बैठ के थोड़ा चाय कुछ खा वा के वी वुड गो फॉर क्लास, जो यूजुअली 2 से 3 घंटा होता था एवरी डे. आई थिंक आई वाज एवरी डे एंड बेसिस व्हाट like they would have it even in your summer holidays between 9th and 10th जो तेरा holidays है तभी से चालू कर दिया तेरे को करना. So many a times when we would go to school और उधर कोई टीचर चालू करे कि आज हम वर्ल्ड वॉर 2 के बारे में पढ़ेंगे, हम लोग ऑन थे ऑलरेडी, हम लोग तो एंड तक पहुंच गए थे by then, and it actually helped because I used to have a lot more fun there. Then what we started doing is स्कूल में हम लोग जाके स्पोर्ट्स खेलते थे और पढ़ाई करते थे महेश ट्यूटोरियल में जाके, और एंड में 85 आया ब्रो. एंड ऑल माय फ्रेंड्स हु केम like with me at the same classes, they were all like 85, 87, 89.
Dude, and there's one more thing to be said about this, which is this key, just because it was like, and here's the thing, right? You can make this comment about a lot of things in our country, which is that the private institutions are always slightly better than the public institutions, right? Like the private hospitals are better than the public hospitals, the private mode of transport better than the public transport, and so on and so forth. So the same thing you can say about like tuitions and school. Like
school is not public, no, not
it's not, but it's not, but in the sense that like even then the tuition had ACs, which our school did not have.
You were paying through your nose.
You were paying way more, which is what I'm saying. Like it was still, in the analogy, it was still like it's not the truly private thing that the tuition was, right? Where you're paying so much money, the standard is higher, the people are lesser, therefore the teaching is more like personalized.
No, and like, the teachers were almost like trained or like industry professionals.
They were trained. A lot of them were used to be the ones who used to set the papers. So many a times when you were in these classes, you would be given a set. By ये 25 है, इसमें से तो आने ही वाला है, and 9 out of 10 times every exam में अगर वो 25 पढ़ के गया तो उसमें से तो आया ही है.
Dude, and there's so many examples.
I mean, it's different for different. Like I was SSC medium, right, which is a completely different ball game from an ICSE, and अभी तो IB 5B तो कुछ और ही चल रहा है. हम लोग के टाइम पे very like ICSE SSC ये था,
और CBSE
और CBSE, but like largely most people around me were SSC, right? So for us it became you go to these classes, not home tuitions, classes, but classes wale are able to somehow like compress it and give it to you in a way, for whatever reason, expertise, knowledge, having set previous exam papers, whatever, that if you did those things properly, देखो तू score करने ही वाला है. It's weird. I've seen people who weren't scoring as much in like previous exams and all of that. All these guys, bro, they've got in the higher like 70s, early 80s, which you wouldn't like expect.
But just like small thing, like for me, it made no difference. Like I still didn't score well despite going to like good classes and stuff like that. I just think I think that the way knowledge is put into your system, or the way you're supposed to consume it at that age, is just not right. Like it just feels like it's तेरे को कुछ याद नहीं है. Like it's
मेरे को कुछ नहीं, मेरे को वो एग्जाम के तीसरे दिन भूल जाता था. एग्जाम के दिन पे सब याद रहता था, because you're just mugging it up and just 25 questions, just let's do this, let's go finish it off.
The way to like fundamentally you don't learn it, right? And that's where the problem lies to me. Like,
but अभी तो literally सब digital हो गया है ना, like with all of these things coming out right now, especially COVID के time पे तो everything from Unacademy, Relevel, Graphy, all of these guys.
Most schools also going online. But the thing is now there is so much of an opportunity to learn it the way you want to learn it. Like if you are great with learning with pictures, if you are great with learning with like what are they called when you used to take like the first letter of, like if you had to learn the planets, mnemonics. If you did like Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars ka, if you had to like write my very good something you would so whatever your method of learning, you will find somebody to be able to fundamentally explain it to you, so you don't need these hacks to mug it up, right? Like you don't need to you understand why E is equal to MC square, as opposed to just knowing E is equal to MC square. I mean, that's really the difference. I don't know what the shape of tuitions is now. Like, I don't know if tuitions are entirely online, or like, I don't know if that home going to that auntie's house to study.
No, it's just that we don't know like 14-year-olds who you're chilling with. So like, मैं तो भूल ही गया. I was telling you guys that पहले कि भाई आजकल तो ट्यूशन नहीं होते ना. You're like नहीं, you've just grown up. I'm sure tuition still exists.
You're not in the target demographic.
मैं नहीं जा रहा ट्यूशन के लिए.
Yeah, but you're not even hearing about कि auntie tuition देते हैं. You know what I'm saying? Like
नहीं, और मेरे बिल्डिंग में भी कोई ट्यूशन नहीं है यार इतने टाइम. I'm telling you, out of the blue he came. Obviously, this teacher who I told you guys about, he's not teaching anymore. He doesn't take tuition. He's quite old. But he was like
stock market.
हाँ, अभी तो सिर्फ स्टॉक पे चल रहा है. Bro, actually मुझे स्टॉक टिप्स लेना चाहिए था. But what subjects would you go to tuition for, right? Because more or less it would be like maths. Maths और कभी अगर language है तो मराठी के लिए.
Guys,
so for me the tuition was, I mean, for me the private classes was 10th standard for that Sinal classes.
Yeah.
But tuition, the concept that we call tuition, because it was always मैं coaching class जा रहा है या मैं tuition जा रहा है. There were two different sections, right? So for me the first tuition was FIJC and it was only for French. And that's pretty much I think all I've done tuition wise.
Guys, I want to tell you about this.
नहीं करने आता.
Okay, I want to tell you about this. So there is a guy who he's a person who does these videos about maths. Okay, and he puts it up online and he makes about 2 crore rupees. Okay, in rupees, he makes about 2 crore rupees a year. Okay, now what do you think he does differently? Like, why do you think he's making this much money?
क्या animation क्या कर रहा है?
He's putting up his maths videos on Pornhub.
Oh yeah. I read about this guy. Yeah. He puts it on Pornhub. You're right.
So he goes under. This guy's name is Changshu. He's a Taiwanese maths teacher, and he's got his handle is Changshu Maths 666. Okay, and he's got an account on Pornhub, and he gives maths lessons. Okay, it's not even sexy maths. It's just regular maths. Okay?
But it's on actual Pornhub ka website pe hai.
It's on actual Pornhub ka website. Okay, and his thing was that the reason he did it was because he's like, since very few people teach math on adult video platforms, and since there are so many people who watch videos on them, I thought if I upload my videos there, a lot of people would see them.
And he's right.
So suddenly all the horny kids were about to jack out. They're like, अरे नहीं पहले थोड़ा एक Pythagoras theorem हो जाए. उसके बाद छोड़. I'm not gonna rub one off today. Today I'm gonna
it's
learn
so
derivatives.
Big, the equation.
Fuck. So if he's making 2 crores a year, तो लोग बैठ के देख रहे हैं ना उस पे.
Yeah, they are. So his account
लेकिन उसके
features.
वीडियो स्टार्ट होने से पहले वो Pornhub का ऐड आता है.
Yeah.
अगर उसके बाद भी देखो मैथ सीखना है ना तो तेरा तो ट्यूशन लेना चाहिए था बचपन में.
So you really want to study math, really?
Yeah. Oh, this is and this is the kind of like innovative thinking.
But उसने कभी YouTube पे डालने की सोची ही नहीं.
It's brilliant. But like even if you did it just to get publicity, right? Hoping कि मैं ये एक publicity start करता हूँ, इसके बाद नाम तो बन जाएगा, फिर public आएगा शायद tuition. It's a big gamble. Meaning maybe people won't come because he's that guy on Pornhub. Fuck that.
Yes.
But I think it worked out for him, dude. 2 crores a year.
I bet he can't give private tuitions anymore. वो कोई नहीं ले रहा है उससे.
He's succeeded so hard that I have a feeling Pornhub might become littered with just people doing equations, telling you history, geography. और बीच में like you have to shove all of that aside.
It's just Pornhub.
Now you will need now you'll have to get to page 94 to watch porn.
No, you'll have to go to Byju's app.
But lekin bro, that might be a great way to like educate people suddenly.
Yeah.
If there is only like teaching videos, like serious teaching videos.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And the thing is that a lot of the videos in Pornhub used to begin in the classroom, but they never did the maths.
Yeah,
Correct.
this guy solves it. Like, you know, actually,
You're
what
just
would be great
you're
is
just
what
waiting.
Just people who are waiting for him to like get to action. Like, what if they're just like, acha, okay, integration, okay, understand.
अभी होएगा
But
नहीं, बट वही तो है ना कि दे शुड बी एक्चुअल, वो जैसे पॉर्न वीडियो चालू होता है ना, कह रहे उसको मैथ्स का प्रॉब्लम नहीं आ रहा है और ये अंदर आके एक्सप्लेन करता है. सो द एक्चुअल पॉर्न एक्टर इज लाइक वी कांट गो अहेड क्योंकि ये अभी तक ये समझाएगा पूरा थ्योरी देगा उसके. वाओ.
Speaking of places to go to,
When did we speak of places to go?
he said no. You have to go to Pornhub. You have to go to Byju's app. So I was like,
Oh my god.
अरे बाबा, ये
Well done.
ये सेगवे जीत की कोशिश.
No, but he said so. I'm holding it from there. Yeah, it's okay.
हाँ.
So I was starting to look up. Today I was just trying to like see places to like visit and stuff like that. And as always, this is becoming a problem where you end up starting to watch stuff. Dude, there are such bizarre and strange places to go to that are just sites that make no sense. Like, right, in some cases you understand them, but in some cases you have absolutely no. What's the most bizarre place you've been to? Like, you went there and you were like, either you went there because you knew that this was a bizarre-ish place to go to, or you went there and you were like, fuck it, Khere.
You mean like Changshu's channel?
Like Changshu's channel. Like Changshu's channel. Is there something that you remember?
मेरे को याद है, मैं वो क्या है जगह, लोनार लेक पता है देखो, महाराष्ट्र में ही है लोनार लेक. Look it up, bro. So लोनार लेक is a place which is basically 50,000 साल पहला मीटियोराइट स्ट्राइक हुआ है.
हाँ.
और उधर अभी एक नेचुरल लेक फॉर्म हो गया है, फुल ग्रीन लेक है, आजू बाजू मस्त झाड़ वाड़ आ गया है, नया मरीन बर्ड्स आ गया. इट्स अ वेरी लाइक good place, and they say apparently that the water is supposed to have like good minerals etc, and it's good for your skin.
तो तू डुबकी मारा क्या?
मैं नहीं गया bro, अंदर नहीं गया, बाहर से देखा, फोटो लिया.
But
it's in Maharashtra only.
I think Thakur will definitely agree with on this one. One of the strangest places I've been to is Ladakh.
Oh yeah, but it's not.
I mean,
so it's strangest in the sense that it's visually
just stunning.
Yeah,
stunning.
And it's nothing like anything else in the world. Like, it's truly like it's mountain but desert but cold but sand.
Yeah, but what is purple sky? Why is purple sky?
Yeah.
Orange, red. आज कुछ भी कलर है. क्यों है? नहीं है, बस कुछ तो मिल रहा है. Bro, लद्दाख में तू कभी, I mean, obviously तू ऐसे देख रहा है, लेकिन तू कभी जमीन पे ऐसा लेट के ऊपर देखा है क्या?
No, it's outstanding from every aspect. I'm saying you walk towards the lake, you stand at the lake, the reflection, everything.
इधर बॉम्बे में बाहर जाके देखते हो, कुछ नहीं देखा, बाजू वाली बिल्डिंग नहीं दिख रही मेरे को स्मोक के वजह से. उधर है ना, हम लोग पेश और ऐसे गार्डन में लेट गए और ऊपर देख रहा हूँ. Bro, I'm not kidding. It literally feels like
it's Worli Planetarium.
इधर ही है कि मैं ऑन किया अभी लाइट और ऐसे दिख रहा है. Bro, that is actually how you're supposed to be able to see it, with like proper clear sky, no pollution, nothing. It's incredible. Incredible. Like the terrain. उधर तू मैग्नेटिक हिल पे गया कौतुक?
Magnetic Hill, we passed by it. Like, but yeah, but
your car
no, nothing happened, which is why it was very disappointing.
No, नहीं. So they say अगर तू की गाड़ी को रखा ना तो गाड़ी अपने आप आगे जाएगा.
ये नहीं हुआ हम लोग के साथ.
क्या बोल रहे? नहीं, हम लोग के इसमें हुआ, बट मैंने किस पे उस पे तो देखा था.
It must be psychosomatic. क्योंकि PH और लेटेश
गाड़ी हिल रहा है.
That point is very easy to convince.
नहीं, but they say obviously magnetic hill का सीन नहीं है, but apparently it's more of an optical illusion. What you can't see कि रास्ता थोड़ा सा बेंड है, अपने को स्ट्रेट रास्ता लगता है, but ऐसा मैंने किधर देखा था. But
what is the highest motorable road? It's
Khardungla, bro.
Yes, Khardungla. And at Khardungla there is a rest stop. Okay.
Best. उधर का चाय पीने का. Incredible.
पर उधर तू मुतने जाएगा तो तेरे को दिखेगा वैली.
Yeah, but
और तेरा थोड़ा ऐसा निकलेगा नहीं.
But that's all over, no? Like if you are trying to like just stand at one shack that's a makeshift toilet with a patra sticking out of the floor and you're trying to...
It's adventure sports, man.
Bro, लेकिन कुछ अलग ही था bro, the feeling of being
Yes.
at खारदुंगला. I still remember उधर जाके मैं ऐसा अकेला बैठ गया थोड़ा 10 मिनट खुद से deep in thought. बहुत अलग ही सीन है bro.
क्या सोच
Like
रहे हो?
बस
You remember
थोड़ा
anything?
लाइफ के बारे में सोच रहा था मैं.
Bro, मेरे को
थोड़ा 2 दिन फोटो लिया. हाँ,
मेरे को सियाचिन जाने का है इसके लिए. Even that entry into Siachen, that road entry where you see that thing, like मेरे को सियाचिन जाने का है यार. Genuinely, बस I just want to like.
तू जाएगा मेरे को भी लेके जा bro.
Of course.
It's staggeringly cold.
Film opens in Siachen.
Also, by the way, cold से याद आया. One of the other places that I thought was so bizarre and beautiful at the same time. We had gone to Russia with the intention of seeing the Northern Lights, and we go to this one location. It's called Murmansk, okay, in Russia, and it's in like it's at the same level as Norway. So it's the same latitude, and it's 1/3 the price, which is why we went there. So it's snow, okay, and they've designed the place that we were staying in. It's designed like an igloo, and half of it is glass. So the idea is that on a good day, on a good day, you can just look like from your bed, you can look up and see the Northern Lights.
PS or latest.
Right?
PS latest dekhesh.
But that the day, I mean, when we had gone, unfortunately, extremely cloudy. All the days we were there, extremely cloudy. तो जो अपना गाइड था उधर का बहुत स्मार्ट आदमी, okay, बहुत स्मार्ट आदमी. So he knew कि clouds out there. He's got one app on his phone. He's like कि look, the Northern Lights are there. Unfortunately, it's cloudy. Can't see it, but see on app, it's there. Okay. He said, yeah. He's like, oh, by the way, I got you guys some gifts. दारू.
और क्या वोडका जो उधर बेसिकली पानी जैसे मिल रहा है.
Like, thanks. And then we just drove around trying to find it, getting progressively drunker, and then he's like, sorry guys, can't find. We're like, hey, cool, bro.
Yes, or latest. No. Dude, you know, one of the most bizarre experiences for me was we were in America in a beach. Okay, we were at a beach in America, and it was not cold. Okay, like it was like early 20s. Okay, so we
like
knew
1920.
Like it was early to like mid 20s. Okay, temperature wise, and so we were like, ठीक है तो पानी में कम से कम वैसा पैर वैर रख के आएगा क्योंकि even at 20 the water will be 2-3 degrees colder, right? We're in the west coast. So we went to the water, and that's when I realized कि a body of water the size of the Pacific Ocean is going to be fucking frozen no matter what the temperature on land is.
Yeah.
Dude, it was freezing. Okay, literally freezing. मेरा एक दोस्त है, वो बोर्ड पे ऐसा वेट सूट पहन के सर्व कर रहा है, तो वो लिटरली 7 मिनट में अंदर आया और ऐसा श्रिवल्ड स्किन लेके आया वो वापस. वो बोल रहा है चांस ही नहीं है ब्रो, बहुत ही ठंडा. मैं बोला तू इंडियन है ब्रो, तू क्या ऐसा सर्फिंग कर रहा है एलए में, तू वापस आ. तो पैसिफिक ओशन के साथ नो पंगा. It truly was surprising. Like it's one of those things that doesn't hit you till it hits you. You're like, you know, it's like Ladakh the first night. Like it's you can't explain it only. Like no matter how much Vidhu Vinod Chopra shoots it, you can't explain what Ladakh
Which
is.
film he did? Vidhu?
3 Idiots also, no?
Oh, 3 Idiots, yes. Yes.
I mean, he also did Mission Kashmir, but that was not.
Oh, that is Raju Hirani, which is why I did.
So, but no, Vidhu Vinod Chopra producer, na?
Yeah, no, I realized.
उसी से तो permission.
He must have seen the film for sure. Yeah.
No, I'm saying permission तो उसी से मिला है ना. Vidhu Vinod Chopra is from Kashmir, no? So anyway.
तो ये तू किधर कैलिफोर्निया में था ना, उधर तू ग्लास बीच गया था कभी? So bro, ग्लास बीच का सीन क्या है? There's a place called Fort Bragg close to it, ठीक है?
Yeah.
तो वहाँ का जितना भी मतलब
military installation or something,
सब कचरा पट्टी जो भी पुराना गाड़ी ये वो सब उधर फेंक देते थे उनको पानी के अंदर. Then something insane happened कि वो पूरा ocean waves पे लग वग के it got sort of compressed
into an island
to like almost like tiny glass pieces.
Oh man.
Like it got dug out fully. ठीक है, तो अभी अगर तू उसको देखेगा ना from far, it looks like, you know, like gemstones kept on a beach. The entire beach is flooded with that. This is garbage from 60, 70 years ago. हाँ bro, garbage. पब्लिक पुराना गाड़ी वाड़ी सब फेंक रहा था वहां से, ठीक है, वो पूरा कंप्रेस होकर ऐसे बॉल बन जाता ना, वो आके पूरा ऐसे बीच पे आ गए. सो नाउ द एंटायर थिंग looks like it's shining gemstones, but it's garbage compressed over years.
Speaking of garbage, in America there are a couple of places. Okay, there are really a couple of places. Wait. There are a couple of places, and I want to make sure that I get this absolutely right. Okay, there's one place called Bubblegum Alley in California. It's an alley that's about 20 meters long. Okay, and it's become a tourist destination. They know how to market anything. You know what
US में तो
alley is?
हमेशा करेगा उन लोग.
You know what that alley is? On both sides of the wall, it is people that have stuck bubble gum on the walls.
Okay, why hasn't Zuban Kesari made this alley in India? Because they already exist all over the place.
Exactly. So I'm saying it's bubble. People have taken bubble, and there's several of them. There's one in Seattle or in Portland, some place in Portland. I think it's Seattle only. There's several of these in the US where people have just sort of like stuck chewing up, and it's an alley full of chewing. So I wish I can, let me try to see if I can find a photograph for you. There's one in Seattle.
There must be also at least one person who must have been chewing gum and been like कि मेरे को निकालने का है, but he's like मैं alley में डालूंगा तो मैं 4 किलोमीटर चल के जाऊंगा.
But here's the thing, right? Look at this.
Oh God,
these are all
oh, that's gross.
This is all bubblegum.
That is pretty gross.
I'm just saying, like, and there's one in Seattle, there's one in, यही चलते रहता है bro ऐसा. By the way,
अभी इसको आर्ट बना दिया क्या हम लोग ने?
Yeah, they've made art. Okay, here is another.
लेकिन जुबा कैसे नहीं कर सकते
अरे तू मेरे कॉरिडोर में आएगा, तेरे को वही है सेम.
तूने नोटिस किया है कि कभी तू ऐसे बिल्डिंग में घुसता है और एक एलिवेटर में जाता है और सपोज तो ग्राउंड फ्लोर से 5th फ्लोर तक जाता है, तो जो फर्स्ट और सेकंड फ्लोर या जो 2 फ्लोर के बीच में एक जगह होता है, मालूम है?
यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट जाली वाला लिफ्ट ना? जाली वाला
लिफ्ट. देखो उसमें हमेशा ऐसे थूक दिखेगा लगा. देखो मालूम है, तो ये जो रेनेगेड 5 स्पीडर्स है, जो लोग मुंह में जाकर बैठे अभी थूकेंगे कैसा, तो फ्लोर 2 और 3 के बीच में सीधा प्रोजेक्टाइल बाहर. मैं हमेशा सोचता बिकॉज द लिफ्ट डजंट स्टॉप देयर. तो कोई बैठ के रुका है वो मारने के लिए.
These are definitely people going to a house, right? Not coming from a house.
I mean, you can eat.
What do you think? Statistically, I would imagine that.
No, it's both ways. Before I come home, I have to spit my pan out.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I would imagine.
Leaving home, and then when I'm leaving home, I need to just.
Or it could just be like passerby जुबान केसरी. उन लोग आते हैं, they know कि इधर second और third floor के बीच में अपने भाई लोग ने थूका, तो इधर करके जाते हैं. We won't. Nobody will catch us. Or out. वो भी हो सकता है.
Wait, I'll give you another bizarre sight. In Iceland, in Reykjavik, there is a museum dedicated to penises.
Very nice.
Okay, so
like of all species or like only humans?
Of all species.
Humans.
Believe it or not. So it's called Penis Museum. It's the Iceland Palace.
That's
Museum.
a bit on the nose.
Okay,
That's a bit on the penis.
That's a bit on the penis.
Right, it's called a phallus museum, and what it is they've got 200 phallic specimens from every mammal in the country. So they have a whale penis, they have this, they have that, and and they're all preserved in formaldehyde. So they're all just there. Bro, kya chal raha hai, bro?
But if you go on Saturdays, it's casualdehyde.
कौतुक एक जगह है जो तेरे को
बहुत पसंद आएगा. आइसलैंड तो भी आइसलैंड की बात ही कर रहा था, तो I've never been. Have you been?
I'm dying to go, dude.
मर रहा हूं मैं. प्लीज चल रहे हैं, अपन दोनों निकल दे.
चलते हैं. ये
just wait,
useless है.
Wait for someone to just offer us boarding and lodging if you're from Iceland.
अपना है. If
I do not.
By the way, if anybody listening to our podcast or watching this from Iceland, give us a hell yeah, and please call us over. Because Iceland is that one place I am dying to go. मतलब इंडिया में मेरे को वैसा लद्दाख के लिए था, ठीक है कि नहीं लद्दाख जाना है, because it's nothing like anything you've ever seen. Same is the case with Iceland, man. I spent so much time online just looking at videos from there. मतलब वो एक तो उसने उधर जाके शूट किया था शाहरुख ने, वो ब्लैक सैंड जो बीच है उधर.
Really?
Yeah.
हाँ. And then there's that one plane का क्रैश हुआ था उधर बहुत साल पहले, और वो क्रैश ऐसे ही रख दिया.
Oh.
ठीक है, there was some history connected to that
Dude,
plane.
there's a lot of
And
places like
Shahrukh has gone and shot the Dilwale ka song, I think na Gerua Gerua was shot in Iceland.
So there's several people who shot.
Interstellar was shot.
Interstellar, Game of Thrones, वो तो होते रहता because that topography, that terrain.
Ads in Iceland.
क्या Cadbury? कुछ खास
I really wish, dude.
So what they shot in Iceland? बता ना एक
There are many people. No, I haven't gone here. That's the problem.
But they make it look like Mada.
No, don't need to. वो Volvo का एक स्वीडन का कमर्शियल है जो स्वीडन में they've shot it. It is one of the most visually beautiful commercials I've ever seen. Anyway, coming back to Iceland, there's a band called Sigur Rós, which is an Icelandic band. Great band, right?
Super.
They've got an album which is basically a drive through Iceland.
What?
Oh, wow.
But each song is coordinates on the map. So that's the name of the song. It's coordinates on the map. So you should basically be driving through those coordinates as you are driving. And that's supposed to be like one great thing. Bro, Iceland to 100% janega mere ko without doubt.
But imagine, I mean, what the songs don't work
Blue
if
Lagoon.
you're listening to it elsewhere?
No.
Like if I'm driving in Andheri, then
Geo-tagged nahi hai. मैंने album सुना है. Geo-tagged nahi hai.
हाँ तो Sigur Rós तो अंधेरी में.
Kautuk, you're really, really going to like this place in Mexico.
What is it?
It's called the Island of the Dolls.
Oh my God. That is creepy as fuck.
Yeah,
half a second you showed and that's it.
No, but that's it. That's all.
इतना creepy था बाबा डर गया. Actually.
Yeah. So basically the legend is that there was a little girl who drowned in a canal nearby.
Oh my God.
And
fuck.
It was also the long abandoned hideout of this guy called Don Julian Santana, right? And he was ostracized because he was an alcoholic and stuff like that. And and Don felt haunted by this girl's spirit. So he sort of he began trading vegetables for old dolls, right? And so he started placing these dolls across the island to appease her, saying that she's a little girl and so she'll like playing with dolls and stuff. So he's like, और फिर वो ऐसा ही है अभी.
Oh, there's a lot of these types of, the places that started as one person's eccentric idea and then became like shrines and stuff.
Yes, like this place in Japan, which is too funny. I just have to tell you, it is called the, I really hope I pronounce this correctly. I'm definitely not. It is the Hakon Kowakin Unisun. All right. It is a spa, which is a themed park spa, where you can enjoy interesting combinations of hot springs, ranging from traditional European, Japanese, and even the more unusual, unique creations such as the noodle bar, where you can swim in a bowl of ramen.
You can swim in a bowl of ramen?
Yes.
And then your friend can complain, इधर बोलते ना सर इसमें मक्खी है, इसमें इंसान
इसमें रमेश है,
इसमें रमेश है, I need a refund.
Dude, there is a place in this is in Jodhpur. It's called Bullet Baba. You've heard of this, right?
Bullet
Baba. So it's a shrine that's created in Jodhpur. The story is this, that there was a guy called Om Banna who was traveling along this road and he lost control of his motorcycle, which hits a tree. Okay, so he dies on the spot and the motorcycle falls into a ditch. Okay. The morning after the incident, local police took the motorcycle to a nearby police station, and the next day it was reported to have mysteriously disappeared from the station and found its way back to the site of the accident. Police once again take the bike, and this time they empty the fuel tank and put it under lock and key. But despite all these efforts, again the bike lands up at that same spot. Okay, so they have basically kept that bullet bike as a har war laga ke, okay, and it's kept at that spot, and you can It's become like a worshipping spot.
ये सब ये पुलिस जिसने भी पकड़े ये लोग भी पीएश और लेटेस्ट थे इनको याद नहीं है
So
क्या हुआ है।
listen to this. So the interesting thing about it is, so because it's like Bullet Baba, right? So it's like a very odd shrine in the sense that the people who pass by it, right? Like the offerings there include incense sticks, flowers, coconut,
Petrol.
and liquor.
I thought petrol. No? Bullet ka bike hai.
Yeah.
Wait.
But you know,
Okay.
it's not like I'm not a most strange place, but I think India may, especially when I was younger, right? Because I used to like history a lot. मेरे को शिवाजी महाराज का history बहुत मजा आता था पढ़ने, ठीक है? And this is I'm talking about when I was what in the 7th standard or something like that. I went to a lot of the Shivaji ka forts, and it was so surreal because if you've heard about it and then you actually go there, like half the time when you're in Europe, you know, we visit so many of these castles and you know, पहले का fortress बना के रखा है ये वो, but I just feel bad that the upkeep is not as good, but the feeling of going to a Pratapgarh or a Murud Janjira,
Or a Siagarh.
Siagarh, bro, it's incredible the vibe. Like even the palaces in Rajasthan, obviously, but अगर देखो कोई चीज पसंद है, you read a lot about it. मैं बोला ना, मेरी दादी मेरे को बहुत stories बोलती थी शिवाजी का. So when you hear that and put that into perspective, suddenly that's the first time I literally imagined how it must have been. You know, you're trying to picture कि वो टाइम में यहाँ से कोई अटैक कर रहा है, इधर से ऐसा कर रहा है, एक वो तोप का ये साइड पे लगा हुआ है. Fucking nuts it was going to these.
Yeah, like I remember Chittorgarh. There, this guide was telling us about this. So we're at this place. It's got these. It's a palace. It's a fort, and they've got these huge doors, right? Massive doors, and these doors have spikes on them, right?
Yeah.
Large spikes. And he was like, "You didn't know what the idea behind it is."
Elephant or
And
something.
exactly. I had no idea at the time, and he said, "Here's what the thing was." So the enemies used to have elephants, and they used to use the elephants to break
Trample
open
the gate.
Yeah, break open these doors. So they put these spikes. The fucking elephant gets his brain becomes popsicle. So and it was wild to, like, when you see all of that stuff and you hear all of these things in context, you're like, oh man.
देखो एक और था बचपन में, I used to die. I really wanted to go to the Amazon River. My chacha had bought me this
Because of piranhas.
Huh?
Is
So
it because of piranhas?
my chacha got me a really nice big fat book about the Amazon. मतलब literally every species that was discovered till that point, कि कैसा insane pictures, like it, fully informative. So as a young kid, when you read that, your imagination is going into overdrive. ठीक है, piranhas के बारे में मालूम पड़ा, anaconda. इसलिए जब actual जो anaconda movie आई थी, I had gone mental, and I'm shit scared of snakes. ठीक है, I had gone crazy because I was like, bro, ये book से इतना excited हो गया था मैं कि मेरे को जाना है.
देख के बोला जॉन वॉइट से ज्यादा डर लग रहा है.
एनाकोंडा ने उल्टी किया जॉन वॉइट, नहीं मैं नहीं जा रहा. लेकिन क्योंकि मेरे को एंटोमोफोबिक, तो मेरे को कीड़े से डर लगता है, तो खत्म ही.
Speaking of this, Varun
आपसे डर
Thakur,
लगता है.
wait a minute. There is a Cockroach Hall of Fame in Texas.
Oh, it's in Texas. I thought it was in your house, Baba.
Wait.
Jogeshwari.
No. Okay, there is a Cockroach Hall of Fame. It was opened by a pest control specialist called Michael Bodhan. Okay, or Michael
Herbal.
Bodhan.
Herbal.
And what he has done is basically he has created extremely elaborate sets, miniatures, of course, because cockroaches, where he has dressed these dead cockroaches up as the people in the Hall of Fame, and he's created these extremely elaborate sets.
Oh, that's
and he's
fun.
called them and he's called them stuff like Liberace, David Letterroach, फिर Marilyn Monroe,
रोच.
Very nice.
ठीक है, और बाप यो से. And what is it? And there's like
एक ऋतिक का भी देना चाहिए, ऋतिक रोचन.
there is basically there's like a cockroach that's dressed like Liberace, and is like standing on the piano like that, like in a full shining leotard. There's like a cockroach wearing a Marilyn Monroe dress like that. It's fucking
नहीं,
crazy.
but उसने ये कॉकरोच को मारा है कि नकली कॉकरोच?
नहीं मारा है, मरा हुआ कॉकरोच है।
मरा हुआ कॉकरोच को उसने मैरिलिन मोनरोज बनाया।
मैरिलिन मोनरो
एक दिखा है कुछ फोटो?
मैं ढूंढ रहा हूँ।
कहाँ पर है ये?
टेक्सास।
हाँ, टेक्सास।
उसके बाजू में उसने बाजू में ये भी किया है, क्लोजेस्ट एयरबीएनबी टू रेंट।
When that's your,
और वो वहां से तो कॉकरोच लेके आते हैं।
एक सेकंड रुक, लिबराची।
कॉकरोच
का है
ये ना अंदर पैंट पहने।
अबे क्लिक कर, मेरे को तो नहीं दिख रहा, बहुत छोटा सा दिख रहा।
अरे मस्त बना है।
अरे ये कॉकरोच ही तो है। अरे यार नहीं है,
ये
देख ना राइट में, नहीं दिख रहा तेरे को ये कॉकरोच? हाँ,
अच्छा नहीं दिख रहा है,
ये देख।
Oh fuck.
Can you imagine Thakur get ready for act out?
It's not fun if you tell me ना जुती, अभी कैसे करें? अभी pressure, अभी performance anxiety, अरे fuck करना पड़ेगा।
You'll do it 100%. Okay, it is this. Imagine being this pest control guy and going to a tailor and asking him to make these clothes. भाई साहब 2 इंच
2 इंच ही तो है ये, इससे क्या कम करो? हाँ, 1-1 इंच थोड़ा कम कर दो।
और मेरे को 8 बोल देना।
स्लिम फिट जी, स्लिम फिट बना।
कौन पहन रहा है सर?
1 मिनट।
ओके, वरुण एंड कौतुक,
इसको निकाल इधर से। अरे सर मर गया है, इसके लिए तो है कपड़ा। देखो सर, आप ये जो भी आपका साइड बिजनेस चालू किया आपने, ये बंद कर दो, ठीक है? आप बेंचन मरे हुए कॉकरोचेस को ड्रेस कर रहे हो, कौन देखने आएगा इसको? सर वहां लाइन देखो, $50 भर के आ रहे। अमेरिकन जूते हम कोई भी चीज का बना सकते हैं, टूरिस्ट अट्रैक्शन। अभी जल्दी कपड़े बना ना, तो मैं मरे हुए टेलर को का एक म्यूजियम बना दूंगा।
I'm going to share an image with you, Kautuk and Varun. I want you to guess the pun.
Oh wait.
Stonehenge type है क्या? Stonehenge.
So it's not a pun anymore. It's Carhenge.
छी। बाबा मैं सोच रहा हूँ कब से यार।
Bridgestone, you know, like Bridgestone गाड़ी का टायर।
Intelligence नहीं है।
That's very nice.
ये किधर है?
ये किधर? नेब्रास्का। ब्रो कुछ भी चल रहा है ब्रो दुनिया में, कोई कुछ भी। ब्रो एक साउथ कोरिया में ना एक टॉयलेट थीम पार्क है।
हाँ तो
ओके, इट इज नथिंग, द होल थीम पार्क का बिल्डिंग, द होल बिल्डिंग इज मेड इन द शेप ऑफ अ टॉयलेट विद अ होल इन द मिडिल। उसमें स्विमिंग पूल मारा है वो लोग, ठीक है?
Oh fuck off.
That you can see only अगर ऊपर का ऐसे पर्सपेक्टिव से देख रहे
हो। टॉप शॉट।
And while you're in the pool,
just a building.
And while you're in the pool, Akshay Kumar comes and puts Harpic.
Yeah. No, but it's a flush pool, right? Like so, it's like. तो यही चल रहा है, bro. And this place, it was, and the thing is, it was built in the memory of a
WC that was
mayor,
once the first
like a
WC.
mayor who sort of, you know,
अच्छा लगता था.
No, basically a mayor who spent a lot of time trying to create public toilets in that thing.
Fair.
Like so for that they built one thing, and now there is toilet themed art. तो एक ऐसा गोल्डन का पॉटी का एक ऐसा लड़ी बनाया है वो लोग।
लड़ी बनाया
बेसिकली वो पूप इमोजी है ना, उसको गोल्डन में बनाया है। फिर कोई किधर ऐसा टिश्यू पेपर रोल का हॉट डॉग स्लाइस बनाया है। सब कुछ भी चूतियागिरी चल रहा है उधर, ठीक है? लेकिन
बहुत सारे डिफरेंट वेज थे ये मेयर को करने के लिए। हाँ, बहुत सारे। उसके नाम पे एक गार्डन में एक सीट वीट बना दो, उसका एक स्टैचू दे दो खुद का कि भाई देख कितने बना है। उधर जाके उधर स्मेल कैसा है? अच्छा एयर फ्रेशनर वाला की गंदी बात स्मेल आ रही है कि वाइब आने के लिए?
नहीं, आई डोंट थिंक इट्स अ 4D एक्सपीरियंस।
वैसा नहीं है, वैसे ऊपर से टॉप एंगल। इसको मेयर को ये भी करे, फेलिसिटेट भी करे, तो बोल रहे भाई ऊपर से जब तक तुम नीचे नहीं देखोगे तुमको समझेगा नहीं वो क्या है।
It's Western style or Indian style? Which is it?
Bro,
Why will it be Indian style in Korea?
No, but a lot of
Let's honor this mayor by giving him toilets that we don't use in our country.
no, but even in Japan, that hole in the ground, it's called it's called their traditional style. In India, it's called Indian style, but it's the same.
नहीं, it's actually universal. that खड्डा है और उसके अंदर करो चीज चलते जा रहा है पहले से.
Spot toilet.
हाँ, वो तो.
But universally, everyone calls the other thing Western style.
Yeah.
Dude, this is one of the most bizarre things I know the toilet should have been the last, but I just want to talk about this. I just want to talk about this. Where a couple of till up to a couple of years ago, the whole state of Texas did not have a single Prada store.
Okay.
Not one in the whole state of Texas, and people couldn't understand why. So then these two artists from Berlin, called Michelle Elmgreen and Inga Draxet, they sort of, went to Prada herself and built a Prada store on an empty stretch of land about 150 miles from any place, like from 150 miles from El Paso. So it's in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of absolutely nowhere. And it's a Prada store, but it has no door. And through its front windows, there is basically 20 left foot shoes and 6 purses. That's it. That's the whole store.
Thakur, इधर शॉपिंग के लिए पता है कौन आ रहा है? आर्मेडिलो
snake. Yes sir, please come in.
ये दुकान.
तो इधर
ब्रो ये थे साइड में ये प्राडा का दुकान लग रहा है.
What is this?
I don't know, man. I don't know if they're mocking the people of Texas or what the fuck, but it is what it is.
नहीं, मेरे को चाहिए कि कोई पहुंच जाए एक दिन.
अरे बट दरवाजा ही नहीं है
भाई. बिलिंग पे कौन है?
अरे
दो लेफ्ट फीट
कांच तोड़ के लेके जाएगा.
कुछ भी
कोई अभी तक चोरी नहीं किया लेकिन उधर.
अरे तू क्या चोरी करेगा उधर?
ऐसे ही अभी मस्ती करने के लिए. ब्रो पब्लिक एक पैर भी जूता खरीद लेगा प्राडा का. दे दे भाई, इसको कलेक्टर्स आइटम बना के रखेगा, 10 साल बाद बेचेगा. मैं म्यूचुअल फंड से ज्यादा रिटर्न आ रहे मुझे प्राडा के एक लेफ्ट जूते पे.
इधर से लेफ्ट जूता और इगतपुरी में दूसरा स्टोर खुला है, उधर सिर्फ राइट है. उधर से
तो एक में कोल्हापुरी और एक में प्राडा. अरे सर आप टेढ़े क्यों चल रहे हो? अरे वो मैंने सिर्फ लेफ्ट हील चुराया वहां से. सर आप हील क्यों पहन रहे हो?
Okay. Speaking of Bawa's toilets. Toilet theme. Okay, I want to take you to Japan. Okay, to experience.
हाँ लेके जा भाई please.
To experience Japanese toilets. And then we will experience another phenomena. Okay.
Is this those public toilets which are made of glass like transparent glass?
No. This is very much inside toilet. But I just want to preface this section by telling you that if you're eating food, now would be a good time to stop. Either eating or listening, one of them. So here's where we begin. Okay, so Japan is famous for having very elaborate toilets. Right?
Yeah.
Because it's world famous. You guys know this. A lot of people know this. If you don't know this, then here's what it is. They have very elaborate toilets. Their toilets have multiple features, including multiple sprays. Okay, so
or multiple things.
Yeah, including soapy spray.
Yeah.
It has a dryer function so that after the spray you can dry. It has seat warming ability. It has self-washing.
Water is also heat controlled in many places.
Yeah. So now this revolution started in the 1980s. Okay, when a company called Toto introduced.
देखा हम लोग सब urinal Toto का.
हाँ, Toto introduces a product called the washlet, which was a high-tech product. Okay, and they've basically cornered the market in Japan with these gadgets. Okay, now Bawa, this will be just a fun fact for you. When they were advertising, they got this famous actress called Togawa Jun, okay, to be the face of the behind. And she was in multiple commercials and they kept trying different taglines. Okay. The one that stuck was, you want to take a guess? Like, what would you come up with for this?
For a toilet that washes itself.
Yeah, like it's a high-tech toilet.
I don't know. Does it
Okay, it's very basic. The tagline that stuck was, even though it's a butt, it would like to be washed.
What?
I bet it sounds better in Japanese.
It's better in Japanese.
Okay.
Sure.
Obviously, Englishman.
So they've got now these things, right? These high-tech things. Now, one very interesting thing about the toilets in Japan was a cultural thing that happened. Okay. And this was a piece of equipment that they started installing. It was called the Sound Princess. Okay. Now, this is according to the Wikipedia page called Toilets in Japan.
इस पे Wikipedia page भी बना है अच्छे से. Good.
So now here's what was happening. Okay. Many Japanese women were embarrassed at the thought that other people could hear them while they were in the toilet doing toilety things, which is why while they were in the toilet doing toilety things, they would keep flushing.
Yeah.
To drown out the noise of the natural movements of the human body. Now, because they were flushing so much, it was causing large amounts of water wastage.
Yeah.
Okay, so which is why Toto came to the rescue. They were like, आपका problem क्या है? आपको पानी waste करना है? नहीं. तो प्रॉब्लम क्या है?
म्यूजिक डाला
नहीं, हमको बस ऐसा वो हम जब कर रहे हैं ना तभी किसी को सुनाई नहीं देना चाहिए, इसलिए हम लोग फ्लश करते हैं. अच्छा ठीक है, तो आपका प्रॉब्लम है, आपको मास्क करने हैं. हाँ. So they basically just created a automatic, like it's a device that plays a flush ka sound.
Oh wow.
It's not even music, it's the flush.
Wow. That's hilarious.
So it's motion sensing. So when you enter, you just
तो पूरा टाइम लोग बोल रहे जो दिल कर रहा क्या है आदमी, तूने क्या खाया, छोले खाया कल रात को पागल, छोले सुशी खाया तूने,
तू बैठे बैठे भी फ्लश कर क्या करना.
नॉन नहीं एंटर होते मोशन सेंसर से फ्लश चालू हो रहा है, फ्लश का आवाज.
So now here's what happened. Okay, so now the thing is, it was creating this thing and it ended up saving, by the way, up to 20 liters of water per use.
Per washlet. Yeah.
Per use.
इतना सब करने के बाद 20 लीटर पानी बचा सकते. बोला टोटो आपका प्लान ही गलत है. 20 लीटर पानी बचाने.
But can you? I'm assuming that this flush is, of course, it's a decoy to mask the thing, but it's also a decoy for the person standing out saying, "अरे flush कर लिया, अभी निकलेगा वो." Flush किए.
Correct. You don't want badly to pee when that person is inside, getting embarrassed to sound, so they do a faux flush.
Yeah.
And that faux flush makes you get excited. Yeah, no.
Now here's the thing. Okay, there are some women who feel that this sound is very fake, which is why they still prefer flushing.
और जो 20 लीटर पानी बचाया था down the drain, literally and figuratively.
Oh man. So nothing. So that's what it was. So
okay. I thought Toto fixed that problem by creating a more real sound of flush with 5 points around.
I think they are addressing very different pain points.
Yeah.
You know, like many a times, like the guys want to be in the loo for longer, but he's like, after a point, people will realize, Khere, ye kya kar raha hai acting? To ek aur sound, plop sound. He has added the sound of the plop. So the person saying, he's busy. He had chole last night. Blub, blub.
I just want to.
Why is there a Japanese guy having chole, dude?
What else makes you go blah blah blah? Sushi खाने के बाद तो मैं chill हूँ, bro, life में. No problem.
So they have, by the way, there's one article about fun stickers that Japan has in their loos. Okay. And one of the stickers was, don't use laptop inside.
Laptop भी बैठे बन.
The thing is,
this is in public public restrooms.
Yeah, in public restrooms. So don't use laptop inside because public अंदर बैठ के fly बजा रहा है, ईमेल भेज रहा है.
उधर बॉस बोल रहा है कि अरे मैं आ रहा हूँ, हल्दी आ रहा हूँ, हो गया काम हो गया, मैं टट्टी करके आ रहा हूँ, I'm in the loop. और वो काम कर रहा है, पीपीटी बना रहा है.
So okay, now we come. We'll stay in Japan. Okay, now we come to this phenomena. Okay, now here's what happens in this. And it's such a crazy fucking thing. So it's 1985. Okay, and there's a niche magazine. Yeah. So in 1985, there's this magazine in Japan. It's called Book Magazine. Okay.
People are confused. Sir, magazine देना. Sir, ये book लिखा है. Sorry. अच्छा ठीक है, book दे दो.
अरे magazine लिखा है.
Magazine. सर आपको चाहिए क्या? Actually रहने दो. मैं online पढ़ लूँगा.
मैं newspaper लेके जाता हूँ. हाँ बोल. Book magazine.
So now.
लेकिन newspaper का नाम journal है. सर न्यूज़पेपर से इधर तो जर्नल लिखा है. अच्छा ठीक है, चलो जर्नल. न्यूज़पेपर.
अरे ये तो नोटबुक है.
नोटबुक. ठीक है, कॉमिक दे दे. चल एंड में कॉमिक पढ़ रहा है.
मैंने क्या मांगा और तुमने मांगा दिया.
गुड.
बोल.
हाँ.
Okay, so it's 1985 and it's the 40th volume of Book Magazine. Now,
Is it a song? 40 वॉल्यूम पे प्ले हो रहा है. सर ये आपका जो बुक मैगजीन है ना, मेरे को इसका वॉल्यूम बहुत बड़ा है, आवाज ज्यादा है.
और बुक मैगजीन का आवाज.
और तो मैगजीन खोलता है तो पेज नंबर नहीं, डेसिबल. Okay, so 40th volume pe there is one letter that has been published by the editor. Okay, the letter is by a woman from Suginami city in Tokyo, and she's a 29-year-old lady who was written in. And here's what she wrote. Okay, this is just an excerpt from it, and here's what she wrote. She wrote, "I'm not sure why, but since about 2 or 3 years ago, whenever I go to a bookstore, I am struck by an urge to move my bowels."
I'm waiting.
The letter was basically her experience, okay, and her experience alone, where she had just for whatever reason written into the book magazine saying that I have this thing, okay, where every time I go to a bookstore, I stay there for some time, and suddenly मेरे को डटी आता है. Okay, suddenly it overtakes me and I have this urge to just defecate.
Basically bookshop उसका cigarette और चाय है.
So the editor saw this letter and he's like, this is fucking gold. Okay, I'm printing it, let's see what happens. Great thing he did it, because the minute he published it, they were,
oh my god, don't tell me there are many people who have the same
hit
problem.
by a deluge of people who said, bro, same, maybe. I never thought that somebody else was going through it. I never spoke about this to anybody, but the minute Mariko Aoki said this, I have realized.
Are you sure
that
it's Mariko Aoki and it's not Mereko Aya?
Mereko Ayo re. What? Mereko Ayo re. What do you mean, sir? अभी library है, book है, तो हो जाता है.
So they basically named this phenomena after her. It's called
Mariko
Aoki's phenomena. Okay, and it's a little unfortunate because, I mean, do you want to be known for the sudden urge to defecate in a bookstore? So
wait, it's not like she wants to go to the toilet at the bookstore.
No,
she wants to take a dump in a bookstore.
No.
She's hanging in the अरे उसका बुक स्टोर उसका चाय और सिगरेट है. बेसिकली वो बुक स्टोर पे थोड़ा टाइम बिताएगा तो उसको टट्टी आता है.
Oh, so she doesn't want to defecate there.
No.
Or use the washroom at the bookstore.
No.
She just gets the urge to poop and then she goes back home.
Or she uses the washroom. Yeah, it's okay. But it's not a fetish.
But yeah, she was just like, she just wrote in saying, dude, this happens to me. Like, it's been happening for a while. Okay. Like, I just want to talk about this now. Okay. And it became this phenomena. The next issue, in it, they had written a special article on this because of the number of letters they got. The article was the phenomena currently shaking the bookstore industry. Okay.
Wow.
उसमें वो लोग ने in-depth analysis किया है.
Is there a specific genre of books?
Brilliant question. Okay, so now I'll tell you about. So when this news broke, okay, so not just regular people, but also authors and other famous like thinkers and stuff. And there's one guy who's going to come up a lot, and I'll tell you who he is later. But all of these people went like, yeah, this happens. It happened to me. Now there's a lot of reasons why people are saying this happens. Okay, they say that it's the smell of the ink, it's the overload that you feel by so much information being in one room, it's the inadequacy you feel when you're in a bookstore and you know that you don't know enough or whatever it is. All of these have, by the way, no scientific backing. They're all guesses at this point. But just by the number of people that have been affected by it, it's a phenomena. Okay. Now they call it book bowel tendency in Japanese, apart from Mariko Aoki phenomena. And here's the interesting thing. Okay. The thing is that it feels like the symptoms are particularly strong when you're in a large bookstore. It doesn't discriminate, to answer your question, Thakur. It doesn't discriminate between books. It can happen just as often with a highbrow literary tome as it does with a manga comic. Okay. Here's what else it says. It readily occurs at English language booksellers. Here's the very cool thing. Okay, it tends to strike women more than men. Okay, and the age group is between 20s and 30s. Okay, it has a specific age criteria. However, it has known to strike children too. Okay, so the circumstances of the moment in which the urge appears has been described as when you were reading the spine of the book, when you were looking through bookshelves, when standing in bookstore while browse reading, when viewing spine titles or the array of books laid out on the bookshelves, and as soon as people have entered the bookstore. Okay, now it's become such a thing. Okay, it's become such a problem that people have reported that I started getting it so often that I can't even enter bookstores. I have to get other people to buy my books for me. Okay. And
ये कहाँ हो रहा है, मेरे को जानना है जापान कि मैं इधर जा रहा नहीं हूँ ये जगह पे जहाँ हो रहा है ये.
So and here's the thing. Okay, so you get all they've mentioned the symptoms. Okay, the symptoms. So the thing is, it's a sudden awareness of the unbearable defecation urge.
Because like bookstores where people are not chatting too much, everybody is quiet, reading, you are browsing through different aisles, so you're walking a lot. That gets your bowels going.
So one of the
just
things,
trying to figure book की smell से हो रहा है, क्या हो रहा है?
One of the other things is that people are saying that sometimes you have to crouch to get a book and that pushes your food down.
How unfit are you that one crouch just makes, or how full is your stomach?
So here's the thing. So so basically they've described the symptoms. The symptoms include lower abdominal area urgency, shivers across entire body, okay, facial pallor, cold sweat, and bow-legged gait.
Wow.
People are holding it in.
Is this a very specific Japanese phenomenon? Because I've literally never heard this happen anywhere else.
Yeah, I'll tell you something, and I'm fully being honest here. It happens to me, but in Nobel Chemist.
Why?
In Jew, I don't know.
Jew Nobel Chemist.
Only in Jew Noble. I've tried it in other Noble chemists, doesn't happen. But in Jew Noble chemist, the minute I enter, okay, and not a particular part of the
Aisle.
store. Yeah, not the healthy section, the hair care, the
As soon as you enter the store.
yeah, just like I'm wandering around and suddenly I'm like, oh shit.
Have you ever once taken a dump there accidentally? You didn't realize. Now तेरे दिमाग में लग गया है वो. Every
Could
time
be.
you go, they just
Could be.
mentally transported back to that day.
Could be.
Wow, bro,
So-
that's insane.
Yeah, so this is check this out. It's it has a very extensive Wikipedia page and it's
No,
called the
but dude, I'll tell you
Mari-
how serious
Mario-
Japanese people are
Yeah.
about their poops. That when I was in Bangkok, so they have like certain quarters, right? ये Japanese quarter है, ये वो that. वो Japanese quarter में जितने hotels है, they all have the proper Japanese fully like pimp my ride WC. इतने ब्रो इससे ज्यादा इससे मतलब it has more than मैं पायलट के कॉकपिट में जितना देखो उससे ज्यादा बटन है ब्रो. It's fancy.
Bro, there's an eject button also where
And
you get
you know
thrown out
that
and a parachute comes.
heat warming is so underrated.
Yeah.
So underrated. I'll tell you why I
helps
felt
it
it
come out
because we
also.
were walking all across Bangkok में, right? मार्केट गए वो हम लोग बहुत नॉन स्टॉप चल रहे थे और थोड़ा ग्लूट्स वूट सब पेन हो रहा था. सो वंस आई एक्चुअली वेंट एंड सैट इट ब्लू माय माइंड. इंडिया में मिलता है किधर देखा कभी भी?
कोफुकू के बाथरूम में जापानीज
मैं
टॉयलेट.
कोफू क्या बात कर रहे हैं? मैं गया आई डोंट रिमेंबर इट बीइंग देयर. हाँ
क्या
क्या
मुतने गया रहेगा ना, तो
दारू
टट्टी
पी
नहीं
के
गया रहेगा ना.
दारू पी के लेटेश साके पी के लेटेश.
ना लेकिन तू टट्टी नहीं गया ना उधर, तू मोस्टली सिर्फ वैसे मुतने गया रहेगा ना, तो टट्टी वाले सेक्शन में है जापानीज.
I'll go next time. I'll check it out.
But in general, they're making there's a movement towards making toilets smarter. You know, like we have smart TVs. So now that you have smarter toilets and they're working towards this, it's going to be a science.
They will tell you what you like, what the chemical composition of your shit is, and
Yeah.
like how healthy you are. and
How healthy? Yeah. I don't know. And it'll basically analyze your shit and it'll tell you stuff like
ये
ज्यादा
डेटा
Sugar
किधर
ज्यादा
जा
है.
रहा है मुझे जानना है.
शुगर
ये
ज्यादा
data
है,
किसके पास जा रहा है?
फॉस्फोरस ज्यादा है तेरे टट्टी में, बहुत बैंगन खाया भोसड़ी के, ये सब बताया तेरे को.
chances for this disease is higher. Please
Yeah,
take care. Meaning, all of that is going to happen. It's nuts. So the future of toilets is looking.
I think I'll stick to the
Right.
Japanese one for my enjoyment. मेरे को सुबह उठ के first thing I don't want to know कि तेरा sugar high है. नहीं ठीक है मेरे को chill करने दे because your first 10-15 minutes is just you on the pot. Whether
Bro, but-
you're actually pooping or not pooping, that feeling of just sitting the first 5-10 minutes is great because I saw a really funny meme. It said phone booth. पहले प्रॉपर फोन बूथ दिखा रहे और अभी दिखा है लोग टॉयलेट पे बैठे. That because I remember when I was in school, if ever I'm mugging up an answer and I feel that this is going to be a tough one, I would give it a shot on the pot. I'm not necessarily pooping.
Bathroom reading.
हाँ, but I would do it and मेरे दिमाग में अटक जाता.
Oh, fun thing about bathroom reading. So it's this phenomenon. This is another tab that has been opened for a while. It is this fun fact about it. I mean, and this is common information, but they've actually studied this and they've come to the conclusion that you do not find your own shit offensive in the least, which is what enables bathroom reading in the first place. But as a species, we find anybody else's poop incredibly unsettling. So you cannot bathroom read when someone has just gone, unless it's a Japanese toilet which has a deodorizer.
Yeah.
And
They
self-cleaning.
No, because but like the last thing I actually want to say, and this has happened to a lot of people, right? Especially in public washrooms where you're waiting in line and you go after some person, but that guy opens the door and he's like, "Listen, bro, the flush isn't working. Sorry." Right? Then you go and you shut the thing and you're like, "Oh,
Yes.
wait, I can't use it. It's like it's unusable. The flush is not working. Fuck it. I'll leave." And then you open the door and there is a third person there. And obviously, bro, sorry. You start, ये मेरे को हुआ exact मेरे साथ हुआ, मैं justify करना कहता हूँ, this is not me. The flush was broken.
You know what would make this situation much more awkward? If you had Toto's flush sound device, because the guy on the other end is like, "Hey, चल रहा है चुतिया."
नहीं तो वो करके निकल जाता ना. हमने ब्रो तूने सुना मैंने फ्लश तो किया था अभी हुआ नहीं वो तेरे ऊपर.
Then he just looks behind going कितना आ गया dude. 4 बार फ्लश हुआ अभी तो बाकी.
Good poop topic to end on at 12:30 at night. Baba, anything else you want to add?
No, thank
कुछ
you.
शो वो प्रमोट करने का?
Oh, promote करने का था. Kautuk.
Yes. So, Baba and I,
minuscule chance.
yeah, we will see if this makes it to. Actually, it will. Baba and I will be doing shows in Pune, tentatively there on 5th and 6th of March. Tickets will be out soon, but keep your if you're in Pune, then just keep your eye out. It'll be on our Instagram and possibly the description of this video. So check it out. Come out in Pune. It'll be fun.
Yes, and I'm coming back to doing live shows. कौतुक और मैं करेंगे. बाबा भी आएगा. अपन थोड़ा छोटे-छोटे शो करने वाले हैं बॉम्बे में. Most probably first week of March. So we'll keep you posted on that. इधर देखो, community पे देखो और Instagram पे देखो. And yeah, if you're in Bombay or wherever else we're performing, please do come. Done. Okay, that's it from this episode of the Internet Set. So we were talking about tuitions, strange, crazy places to visit, and pooping in Japan, especially. So hope you guys like this episode. Leave a like, leave a comment, share the video, share the podcast with your friends and family, or just about anybody. And yeah, good night. Bye bye. Take care. Salamesh.
वो क्या वो गाना था ना बिग इन जापान वैसा
Time pass.